Hello, everybody, and welcome to MAWS Talks Wrestling. I am your co-host, Lunakage.
Sup everyone, and I'm the host along with Luna Glenburg.
I, I think I'm gonna have to start introducing you from now on, man. Hello, everybody, and welcome to MAWS Talks Wrestling. I am your co-host, Lunakage, and as always, with me as my co-host, Glendog.
Glimdog.
He is the DAWG.
If you're not down with that, we got two words for you.
Change it. Change it.
Change it. PG.
Right, right.
Oh
Okay,
man.
so basically, this week we had to record a day late here, and we're still doing it pretty late, even on this late day. But but yeah, I mean, there was no way we could skip a week because this has been like a pretty exciting week in wrestling overall. I mean, it's just kind of good everywhere right now. Like
Right?
TNA just had lockdown, and and like I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, like TNA hasn't been doing anything to make me care lately, but lockdown I thought was genuinely pretty good. Like I was watching it, and I mean, it still had its LOL TNA moments, but like it felt like pretty much everything on the show was just getting over the new generation a little bit, which was like one of my biggest problems with TNA was that before it was just like WCW
Too
in
many
2013.
too many veterans, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we have our fair share of veterans, but like just running down the card a little bit, at least through the matches I can remember, we had the first match, um, Bad Influence and Chris Sabin facing the Great Muda along with Sonata and Yasu, who I had only heard of Great Muda.
I like that TNA already is starting to dive into the international circuit. They've done that in the past with AAA's Mexico promotion,
Yeah, yeah,
but I like that.
yeah. The Wrestle One thing, bringing over Japanese stars and actually doing stuff with them, that kind of thing will make them just like every a lot of people's biggest gripe with TNA is that now they're doing nothing to distance themselves from the WWE style, so it's like they're WWE light. But
Right.
something that WWE has never done was actually push any form of fucking like Asian, like like
Kung Fu Naki doesn't count.
right, fucking Funaki never counted, like
SmackDown #1 announcer.
yeah. So like you got Sonata showing up and immediately becoming a threat, winning the X Division championship, and it just it already feels a little fresh because it's like, oh great, so TNA's kind of returning to their roots a little bit by pushing these random unknowns and trying to make them stars over here. I'm sure he's not unknown over in Japan or for
Right.
any American that watches Japanese wrestling and everything, but
Starting to get their high flying reputation back.
yeah, where they're like slowly but surely, and I think it's a great effort so far that at the lockdown pay-per-view, pretty much all of the new guys or anybody you know that was on the team of somebody new pretty much went over. Like you had Sonata, Great Muda, and Yasu, with Sonata and Yasu being I'm pretty sure new guys in general, but they're definitely new here. They won that match, and it was a pretty good match too.
Yeah, it was a
You
great combination.
basically had the X Division team on the other end, and then you had the X Division champion and Yasu, which I didn't really get to see too much of him. Like because like it was a big match with a lot of people needing to get time in it, but I didn't really get to see much of anybody. I do know that it was definitely fun. It was probably It's probably the best match as far as just action wise go. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like they were taking a page out of old school WCW by putting the cruiserweights on first, something like
Yeah,
that.
it was a great opener. And
Yeah,
it's funny you noticed that the TNA team they were kind of working together and they looked like they were fighting a little bit more seriously. They can't just gimmick themselves all day
right,
against these unknowns.
right.
Yeah.
And shit, I don't know the exact order down the card, but I do know that the women's match on the card, I don't think it was nearly as good as Paige versus Emma,
No.
but it still wasn't bad. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't a bad match. It was a good women's match on a pay per view, and really, isn't that all we can ask for right now from women from women's wrestling?
Yeah.
So that was a pretty decent match. I am a little bit surprised that Madison Rain won with like a top rope spear. I think it was.
Yeah, like second rope, I believe, or off the
Yeah.
cage.
No, it
No,
was
yeah, not off
definitely.
the cage.
Yeah, it wasn't off the
She
cage. I'm pretty sure we'd be
Total
able to tell the
divas.
difference.
The total divas.
So so that was okay. Both of those two were veterans at this point. So, but you also had
The Sammy
Suicide, and I know his name is Manic right now, but fuck that. He'll always be Suicide to me. Damn it.
Suicide Junior.
Suicide faced Tigre Uno,
No. Yes.
and that was a pretty decent match. It was interesting though, um, because it seemed almost as if um, Manic was working the Mexican style a little bit, and I say that with my limited knowledge of lucha libre. I guess the two types of wrestlers, basically the equivalent of face and heel, is Technico and Rudo. And
Mm.
basically, it doesn't matter what kind of style you can work. If you are the face in the match, you're the one doing the high flying, flippy moves and stuff,
Right.
which El Tigre was doing a lot. And if you were the Rudo, the heel in the match, you're basically working the Randy Orton style, and you're basically just trying to get heat by being slow and kind of methodical. And even though Manic was the babyface, well, he was a babyface. He's not a bad guy by any means. It did kind of seem like, to me at least, that Manic was slowed down a little bit. Like he wasn't being as fast paced as he normally is. And I think that has to do with him maybe intentionally trying to work a Rudo in a Mexican style matchup. And again, I have very limited knowledge of lucha libre, so I can't exactly say that for certain. But it does kind of seem like, with Manic not really getting any TV time, you would expect him to come out on a pay per view and just pull out all the stops instead of kind of
Right.
being as slow and methodical as he was
I
at
guess.
Lockdown.
Yeah, I guess we can't have two faces in a match. That doesn't happen that often in wrestling. And Tigre Uno, the new guy, usually the new person that pops up is considered a face until further notice.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I do want to see more of Manic though. I think he's a good character. I always liked the Suicide character, and I think I'm one of the few people that did. But I like Manic. I liked him a lot better when he was Suicide and you didn't know his real name in kayfabe. That was kind of immediately ruined when Hulk Hogan was like, "You see this guy here, brother? This is T.J. Perkins," which, by the way, is a stupid ass fucking name.
T.J. Perkins.
Yeah, no offense to him, obviously, that's not his fault. But like when you bring out a guy whose name was Suicide and he was like this mysterious masked wrestler, then you bring him out and he's just another one of those little dudes with a normal name, and now we know what he looks like, and it's like, come on. Why would you do that? You just ruined his entire gimmick. Now he's just a normal guy that just decided to wear the fucking bodysuit.
Yeah, he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, but I mean, that might just be my opinion, though. See, that match was decent.
I could have sworn that Manic had Mexican style anyway. Like he did train in Mexico. I thought I heard.
I mean, like I'm pretty sure a lot of the X Division guys who do the flying around have some kind of experience with the Mexican style, like Mexico, Japan. I'm sure they go. Most of the X Division guys, I'm pretty sure, go everywhere, so they know a little bit of everything.
Right.
At least that's what I assume, anyway. I don't know. I don't talk to them.
Right, right.
Um,
We had Samuel Shaw and Mr. Anderson.
yeah, I'll tell you what. I fucking love the Samuel Shaw character. Like it took like a hot set. It took me seeing him actually perform at Lockdown, which is kind of funny because the match wasn't exactly spectacular,
Hmm.
but seeing him in the ring and seeing how his character kind of does its thing and goes into his wrestling style, I thought it was really cool because he's this creeper who basically he's a creeper. Like that's his thing. Like I don't know how long that kind of character can last because it seems like you kind of need to have a woman in that kind of angle. So once the whole Christy Hemme thing just goes away, like what are you gonna do? You're gonna make him just go after other women every single time? But
That's what I
I don't know.
was.
That's thinking for the future. I guess we'll cross that bridge when he come to it. But as it stands right now, I love it. Like it's entertaining to me, um, and it's funny too because he's supposed to be a creepy bastard, and not despite that, but you know, in addition to that, they actually do everything they can to make him different from any wrestler presentation wise. Like he's the only wrestler, at least in America, the main American territories, WWE, TNA, what have you, that wrestles in what's essentially street clothes. Like he's got like this long sleeve sweater going on. He wrestles in like jeans, like khakis or something.
Yeah,
You
close
know,
enough to the Shield style. He reminds me the most of Dean Ambrose in a way. I know it's not the same style, but he's the closest thing that reminds me to his style.
well, it's just like it makes a contrast. While other guys are in trunks or tights, he's wearing this long sleeve getup with basically jeans. So it's kind of like it almost seems like he's not a wrestler. He's just this dude that is also happens to be wrestling. And I think his finishing move, which I don't know if he named it yet, but I guess Taz gave us its technical name, the Kata Gatame. I
Hmm.
think that it's a really simple submission hold. Like it's not flashy, but if you notice, as he's putting Ken Anderson to sleep, he's actually shushing him in his ear as if to say, it's all going to be over soon. It fits his character
That's
perfectly.
serial killer type
Yeah,
of characteristics.
I love that. That was awesome. Like I was sold on the gimmick. The match itself was like okay at best, but I was sold on the gimmick. I liked it a lot. Um,
You know what? You know what I was thinking because if Mr. Anderson would have won, I was gonna wonder what was gonna happen to his character. Was he gonna get buried?
Sam?
Yeah, like if like Anderson won.
Well, here's the thing. The type of character that Samuel Shaw is, you could go a lot because like he's mentally unstable, clearly. So you could go a lot of different ways with his character. Like if you notice, in a vast majority of heel versus face matches, the heel will be dominating a lot of the time with the face getting his occasional, fucking offense and shit. But Samuel Shaw was kind of getting his ass kicked like the whole time.
Hmm.
And basically, he's the kind of character that you can't really make look bad through that because his thing is his mental fuckery, basically.
Basically, he pretty much be coming back for more, and it doesn't hurt him that much.
I mean, you could say something like that. You could also say, that he's only really threatening when he's in a certain mental state. Like, for example, just now, he brought out a mannequin pretending it was Christie, and he
Right.
kind of freaked out when
Cameraman
Ander,
and
when Anderson was touching all over it and stuff.
uh,
So like you could easily turn that into his offense, like just have him get really pissed off about it, like he did when Anderson was talking to Christie those times. Just you could do anything with it. So I don't think we have to worry about the character being buried, at least not yet, because he's still so new. The type of character is still so new. It's basically just a matter of let's just wait it out and see what they do with it.
right. So let's see, what else do we have? I know we had what else came before oh yeah, Storm versus Gunner.
Yeah,
Um,
Gunner won.
I
You
guess
know,
it,
it,
it had the match had its high moments. Thought it was, I guess, decent. Wasn't my most favorite last man standing match,
yeah,
but yeah, it had
it was a decent match. I thought it was
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Uh, Gunner won by suplexing, superplexing James Storm onto two chairs, and it was fine. Like a lot of people I saw thought it was weird having a last man standing match in a cage, but why not? It's a cage. You could put anything in a cage. You could put a ladder match in a cage, and I'm not even talking about Dixieland. I'm just talking about a straight up ladder match in a cage. You could do whatever you want with a cage. It's just a cage. It's just surrounding the ring. You don't even need to fucking close the door, really. I know that kind of eliminates the original point of the cage match, but the cage nowadays is there just to be there. Like, it's like, yeah, here's a cage match. Throw some guy into it, jump off of it, you're good. Like,
Do a few spots. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, if you wanted to be, classical about it, that's fine. Like that still has merit, and it's still the best way to present a cage match. Like two guys enter, they're locked in there, and there's no interference. One man has to win. That's obviously a good story to tell. But a cage is a cage. A cage is a giant prop. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. It doesn't matter, especially on lockdown when every single match is in a cage. Why not? Like.
right.
Eventually, we're going to get tired of not seeing people dive through the ropes like they normally do, in certain situations. So,
Uh-huh.
Add more stipulations to the cage match. I firmly support that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so we had Joe versus Magnus. Joe lost because Abyss came up through the ring,
Okay,
hit him with Janice.
that was some WWE type of crap.
I mean, like a lot of people were mad about it. I wasn't. Like, if they were going to keep the belt on Magnus, it was obviously going to be a screw job. There's no way they're going to have it be clean yet.
It's like some Undertaker and Kane type of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, but I didn't mind that. The match was okay. It wasn't anything special really, but it was
It
alright.
didn't have the title match feel
Right.
to me. Yeah.
But that's okay though, because the main event was Lethal Lockdown, Team Dixie versus Team MVP.
Right.
You had Robert Roode, the Bromans, and Austin Aries, who, I mean, since they lost, like, come on, you didn't even really need Austin Aries in there. I guess, giving a main event match, fine, but he wasn't even on fucking this episode of Impact. So, what are they doing? What's he doing? All right, but anyway, you had those four versus Team MVP, which was MVP, the Wolves, and Willow. You know, and I think it's interesting that this week cemented it too. They're not hiding the fact that Willow is Jeff Hardy. They're just presenting to you the fact that he's now different. Like, he's Jeff Hardy, but now he's kind of crazy. He's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, he kind of gives no fucks about anything. Like, if you saw the match on Impact, he pretty much brutalized Rockstar Spud.
Yeah, he got intentionally disqualified and just kind of fucked up Spud for a while.
Pretty much was like Stone Cold type of
Yeah.
not giving a fuck.
Yeah, and I kind of support that. I mean, if he's still going to be a babyface character, but he's going to have a mean streak and like kind of a physical edge, then yeah, that'd be cool. I'm fine with that.
Right.
Change up his wrestling style a little bit because, I mean, Jeff is kind of the king of fucking, just phoning it in until he's got to do a big spot. Like maybe now he can show off some fire during the rest of the match too.
Right.
And like, if the one thing the Lethal Lockdown match showed us is that he's still going to have his same finishing moves. It's not like those have changed. He still's got the Twist of Fate and the Swanton Bomb and everything.
Will-O-Wisp. What if the Twist of Fate was called something like the Will-O-Wisp?
I mean, I think he should like have tree themed titles for his moves now.
Right.
Like the Twist of Fate, rename that like the Uproot or something.
The Uproot.
Yeah, just the uprooting. Just like add weird, like the Last Chancery. Like that name sounds funny as fuck. The uprooting, and then like the Swanton, maybe called like, the Bark Bomb.
The Bark Bomb.
The Bark Bomb. Like, I don't fucking know. The Splinter.
Splinter.
The Splinter. The Shaved Bark.
That sounds.
The Maple Dive.
Maple Dive.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
The Tree People.
All right.
That's the audience. The Tree People.
So, also the special guest referee was Bully Ray, returning finally after that casket match he had. Basically, what happened is that the match was pretty good. Then Robert Roode was about to hit the Roode Bomb through a table on MVP, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was MVP. And Bully Ray stopped him, and then he was like, "What the fuck?" And then fucking he gets hit with a rock bottom from Bully Ray there, and then he gets hit with a drive-by kick from MVP. I'm pretty sure that's what he calls it. Like, I'm not joking. He's supposed to be like his gimmick is being a professional athlete, but he's still got like black as fuck sounding finishing move names like the ball and elbow, the drive-by kick. Holy shit. It's like, name a move like fucking, I don't know, like shit, what's a good rap call it, like the Rhythm and Blues leg drop or something. I don't know.
Rhythm and Blues.
Fucking, the T-Pain. No, yeah, just a submission hold called the T-Pain.
The auto-tune.
The auto-tune. Oh, jeez. Fucking. Anyways. So Team MVP wins, effectively turning Bully Ray face and basically meaning that Dixie might not be on our TVs for a little bit. So it was not a bad pay-per-view.
I like how the pay-per-view ended up story-wise.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it like I'm guessing a 7 out of 10. Just some of the stuff, that was kind of weird. Yeah.
I don't really like giving rankings. If I were to give it a ranking, I'd give it I'd give it a flagpole out of 42.
Flagpole out of 42.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. I'm like 7 and 8, but I guess at the end of the day, I like the direction that Impact is going. Like this week's episode.
Yeah. It's a lot more hopeful.
Yeah, like I guess Bully Ray. This was like the perfect time for him to turn face again because we already have the lesser of two evils. Even though he came from Aces and Eights, they got the Dixieland guys running a joint with Bobby Roode. So,
I mean, I'm cool with that. Like, for me, it doesn't matter as long as you're good at whatever you're gonna do next. Usually, unless of course you're CM Punk, in which case I don't really want you to be a heel, which is funny because like he works way good as a heel, but I don't know. I just want to fucking be able to cheer for somebody that I'm not supposed to boo. I don't like I've said this before. I don't like it when I'm told who to boo and who to cheer. I'd rather just let the matches speak for themselves and then let them talk shit however they have to talk shit. But, if there's going to be a bad guy in the story, as long as you're good at it, if there's going to be a good guy in the story, as long as you're good at it, other than that, I don't care.
I mean, a perception of face and heel changed so much over the years. Like, if it's a great wrestler, you cheer him because of their wrestling skill. You don't boo him just because, like, I mean,
Right.
people weren't booing Stone Cold until he had that character with the invasion era.
Right.
Yeah.
Either. Like, I'm pretty sure they still cheered him because they still fucking loved him. Um, anyway, speaking of Steve Austin, I think we should talk about Raw, what happened on Raw this past Monday.
Oh, yes, yes.
And we might as well get it out of the way. Fucking the fantasy booking of a lifetime. So you could call it fantasy booking, you could call it backpedaling, you could even say that they had this planned all along. It doesn't matter what you say. The fact of the matter is, fucking what seemed like the most impossible outcome. I think I might have even mentioned it as a weird, impossible scenario back on one of our shows, maybe even the last episode. The match at WrestleMania is now going to be Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, with the added stipulation that if Daniel Bryan wins, then he gets inserted into the main event for a triple threat.
Yeah, talk about fantasy booking, and
Yeah,
it just happened to be the final boss thing too. That was funny.
Right. So, and here's what I was thinking too. Like, I guess we don't really have to review what happened on Raw because, I mean, I'm sure if you're a wrestling fan, you watched it. But basically, he brought a bunch of his fans into the ring and said they weren't leaving until they got their demands met. And then, they got their demands met. So, long story short.
It just looked hilarious.
Yeah.
And it was pretty obnoxious, too. Like, they couldn't just walk away from it.
Right. And then like, it was funny because, like, the stream I was watching it on, because, like I said, I don't have cable. The stream I was watching it on, when we were watching this segment, like, and Triple H was walking down to the ring, going to try and clear it out. Like, a bunch of guys were saying, "Oh my God, he's going to single-handedly bury like 99 people at once. He's just gonna fucking start busting out pedigrees and shit."
It would be funny if he came down to the ring and one by one did that.
Yeah, fucking just started pedigreeing people and shit. But anyway, basically, it was so funny because of the mixed positive reactions he got. Like, because all this was happening and people were hype, even in, the crowd and shit. And then, like, they remembered, it's like, oh man, this is going to be for a Triple H match at WrestleMania. So, like, you could tell the crowd was still cheering because it was Bryan, but they weren't cheering as loud because it wasn't really what they wanted.
Right.
Then Daniel Bryan comes out with, and as this is happening, I'm sitting here like, no way. Like, he hasn't even said nothing yet, but I'm like, there's no fucking way they're doing this. He's like, and Triple H, one more thing. I'm like, no way. You are not serious right now, bro. No way, bro.
No, you did not read the dirt sheets. No.
He's like, that's actually not all we want. I'm like, you son of a bitch, WWE. And then they said it, and I'm like, the stream erupted fucking with fucking yeses and shit. Like, there was like 9,000 yeses just going on in the stream chat. It was just like, it was just ridiculous. And yeah, like, I'm hyped for it. And the thing is, like, a lot of people are still kind of being pessimistic about it. They're saying, well, that doesn't mean Daniel Bryan's gonna win, and that's true. He might not win either of the matches, and I'm positive he's going to be in both matches, and like, there's plenty of ways you can work around it. like he could lose against Triple H, due to some fucked up means, but then since Hulk Hogan is the host, he can be like,
Right, Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
he'd come out during the main event, and then he's like, let me tell you something, brother. Daniel Bryan is the greatest American on earth, so I'm putting him in this match anyway. And then, he's in that match,
Logic.
Right, like, I mean, it's Hulk Hogan. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. If he comes out and says that this treadmill is going to fucking compete for the main event at WrestleMania, that fucking treadmill's gonna be in the main event at WrestleMania, and they're gonna walk all over it, literally.
Man.
So, yeah, I can tell you for sure we're gonna get both matches. Does that mean Daniel Bryan's gonna walk out, winning over Triple H? Not necessarily. Does that mean he's gonna walk out as the World Heavyweight Champion? Also not necessarily. But the fact that it could happen already makes it like 300 times better than just him not being in the main event.
Well, it's definitely a smart move on WWE's part because they didn't want to risk losing viewers for WrestleMania. So, if nothing else, it'll be a big time match. Kind of like, how, even though we know Undertaker has this undefeated streak, we really were thinking, Shawn Michaels and CM Punk came really close to beating him because they were really good matches.
Well, my thing about, and this is kind of off topic, but I was actually thinking about this the other day, so I kind of got to mention it. There was only, after the streak was made to be a big deal, there was only ever 2 times where I thought that he might lose, and that was both of the times when he fought Triple H. Mm-hmm. And there's both a kayfabe and a non-kayfabe reason for that. Shawn Michaels matches were meant to be good matches. I don't think Shawn Michaels, was ever any threat, though. And CM Punk, as much as I love CM Punk, after watching that match, it was clear that he wasn't a threat. He kicked out of the tombstone, but you have to in those matches now.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a credible threat because there was only 2 times where The Undertaker looked like he was losing. And that was against Triple H those last 2 times. And, that's the kayfabe reason for it because, like, oh man, Triple H is really fucking his shit up. And basically the whole deal for WrestleMania, 27 was that, even though fucking Undertaker won, he still was not able to walk out on his own like Triple H did. So Triple H still stood tall. So it was like if it wasn't for that lucky submission, then Triple H might have won that one. Like that was the kayfabe reasoning for it. And then the Hell in a Cell, the kayfabe reason for that is, holy shit, you got Triple H and Shawn Michaels in there.
Yeah, he even hit him with a Sweet Chin Music, too.
Yeah. So, like, the drama for those 2 matches were just off the charts. And I'm not saying they were any better. Like, they weren't better than the Shawn Michaels matches or not even the CM Punk match, but, on a getting worked standpoint, like fucking, me sitting there on the edge of my seat going, oh my God, are they really going to do it? It was those 2 Triple H matches.
Right.
And and like the non-kayfabe reason for it is because it's motherfucking Triple H. If he really, really wanted to be the one to end the streak, he'd be the one to end the streak.
He has
straight up
authority now. So.
Yeah, like if he really wanted it. So, like you had that going into it too, because, like I'm a mark at heart, but I still have the smart mark mentality. So I got both of those, both of those things going through my head, and I'm like, oh fuck, Undertaker might actually lose this one. I'm so invested in this right now.
Right.
So anyway, back on our original subject with Daniel Bryan here.
Right.
One thing I was thinking of. Basically, everyone is positive that Batista is going to be the one holding the championship because of his movie that's coming out. And a lot of people are assuming that he's going to be winning that title at Mania and then holding it to like SummerSlam or something. I mean, that could be the case. That could easily be the case, but that's not necessarily the case. If I'm not mistaken, his movie doesn't come out until the summertime. So, if it doesn't come out until the summertime, then why would he be losing it at SummerSlam and instead of like holding it from Mania until SummerSlam? Like, it doesn't make sense for him to hold it all spring too if he just needs it during the summertime. So I think I don't know. I think it's a legitimate possibility that Daniel Bryan might win at WrestleMania and then hold it for a while until Batista needs it. During his movie shit, and then Daniel Bryan might come back and win it again and hold it for a little longer.
Wait, I get kind of confused. So, see, so he wouldn't be champion if he was obviously leaving for the movie. So
No, I'm almost positive that the movie's already been filmed. I'm talking
okay,
about.
okay, that makes more sense because I'm like, wait, what the hell? Why would he
They
take the belt?
they want him to be champion while he goes to all of his movie premieres and stuff.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, so that he can carry the belt with him, to those get-togethers, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh man, check that guy out! He's got that belt. He must be awesome. Where do we see that belt at?" And we'll be like, "WWE, go watch it and shit."
Right.
But if that doesn't happen until the summer, then he doesn't need to be champion now. And I guess you could also make the case that, if Bryan got a title run at WrestleMania, then it wouldn't be long enough, for the people that have been wanting it because, like Batista needs it for the summer and shit.
Yeah.
And that could very well be true. But at the same time, if they want their fucking Daniel Bryan WrestleMania moment, fucking beating Triple H and then going on to win the title the same night, you can't really get much better than that for a WrestleMania moment. And, now is the time to pull the trigger, man,
It's WrestleMania.
Yeah, and as much as I gotta interrupt you here for a second. As much as I understand people not wanting, another short reign for Daniel Bryan, I understand that fully. But the people also want to see him get that WrestleMania moment. So for me, I'd be more than willing to see that happen, and then him only having like a month or two reign until Batista gets it, and then he's got to win it back somewhere down the line. I'd be perfectly fine with that, knowing the clear alternative of Batista beating him at WrestleMania and then carrying it for fucking 4 months or whatever.
That would suck because at that point it's kind of like they're gonna keep dragging on Daniel Bryan. Like, what is it gonna take them like 3 years to finally get it? Like,
Right.
no one should have to work that damn hard to get a championship.
Yeah, and I mean they've kind of dug themselves into a hole because if they really are going to go ahead with the idea of Batista holding the title while he's at his movie shit, then they can't really give Daniel Bryan the run that he deserves right now. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, they dug themselves into a hole. There's plenty of ways they could do it. It's just like no way is going to be 100% good unless they say, all right, fuck this movie thing. We got to focus on Bryan for a change.
Yeah, I don't know, just with the timing of everything. What the hell are they gonna do? Make him champion 2015 at this point?
Right. It's like maybe next WrestleMania.
Right. When like probably Cena wants to fight the Undertaker or something.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So I mean that was kind of the big part of Raw. I can't even remember anything else that happened, and I honestly think the biggest reason why I can't remember anything else that happened is that the stream I was watching Raw on sucked completely. Like I only really got to see the Yes Movement thing like that, and that's all I really needed. So.
Well, Taker did a promo and Paul Heyman interrupted him.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was silly. Like Paul Heyman's promo was awesome as always, but then Taker's promo was the same promo he always cuts. He's like, I am fucking, do I really need to say this shit again? You guys know already I'm the fucking Undertaker. What am I gonna say? Your soul, my soul, you may die. I am already dead. Zombies, dragons, my yard. Like, come on, like, we've heard it already. I'm not saying,
WrestleMania.
yeah, like, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying it's always the same one. Like, I want to hear, the grizzled old veteran actually looking for someone to beat him this time. I want him to just be like, like, I want to retire, but I can't retire unless someone defeats me.
Yeah, just break kayfabe and not just make it the same script.
Well, I mean, not necessarily breaking kayfabe. I mean, you could easily kayfabe something like that up, but you could easily be like, like, my soul cannot, my undead soul cannot rest in peace until I am defeated at WrestleMania, and but I mean, I guess they don't want to do that because they probably don't plan on ever having him lose at WrestleMania. So I guess I could understand that.
Like, just how long is he gonna fight? I mean, what is he gonna fight, like Bo Dallas at WrestleMania 40 or some shit?
I don't know. I figure he's got 2 more WrestleMania matches in him.
Hmm.
Well, not counting this one. Counting this one, 3 more tops. And if he were to fight 2 more after this one, the 2 guys that come to mind for his opponents would obviously be John Cena and Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt will be an interesting choice.
Yeah. Like, obviously they can't do Bray Wyatt now. They need to build him up big time before he's ready to challenge for the streak.
Hmm.
But, like, I think, like, you could do a couple different ways. Like, maybe if you want to wait to build Bray up farther, have John Cena challenge him next year. John Cena challenge Undertaker next year, with the whole thing of, like, if anybody could do it, it's John Cena, because John Cena is motherfucking John Cena. Like, that's all that sells itself.
Yeah,
And
that's the only
then the
thing he
next
really hasn't done. So
yeah, and then the next year when Bray Wyatt fights him, like, make it so that Bray doesn't have to win, but they can make it kind of like a Triple H at WrestleMania 27 thing, where Undertaker narrowly gets the win, but then Bray Wyatt kind of goes ape shit, and then we never see Undertaker again because he retires. But the kayfabe thing is that Bray Wyatt kind of you could say that Bray Wyatt took his powers or something, like, because if Undertaker's ever going to show up on TV after he's already retired, is he going to do it as the Undertaker, the dead man, or is he going to do it as the Undertaker, the guy?
yeah.
Like, if he's going to do it as Undertaker, the guy, then it would be a great way in kayfabe to explain why he's not the dead man anymore, because Bray Wyatt, like, found a way to just take his dark powers away.
An interesting way to walk away from the character.
Yeah.
Because the Undertaker's character doesn't just merely rest in peace.
Yeah. I mean, especially if he's going to retain the streak after he retires, there's, like, other than saying, all right, I'm done, guys, that was fun, but no one can beat me, so fuck off. Like, there's got to be some other way to end the character without having to end the streak.
A new Undertaker. No, alright.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Fuck.
Like a up and coming new age Undertaker. Let me transfer my powers to you.
Yeah, fucking maybe that it would kick off the feud of the breakup of the Wyatt family. Have Undertaker transfer his powers to Luke Harper or something, and Luke Harper shaves a little bit and becomes the new dead man. Feuds with Bray Wyatt because he's like, God damn it, I killed you, and he's like, I know, that's why I'm the dead man, and then I don't know, fucking, it's wrestling, anything could happen.
Yeah, I feel like Luke Harper has a lot of potential. Like, I feel like he can be used a lot of different ways too.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah. Let's see. What else on Raw? Um. Uh. Average Diva match.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. So it was funny when I was watching the Divas match on Raw, the bathroom break match.
Yeah.
I turned away for a second and I looked back up and I saw like Nikki holding the women's title. I'm like, what's the belt on the line? But no, she was just holding it up.
Yeah.
So that threw me off. But Natalia and AJ had a match on main event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that go anyway? Like I didn't watch it.
I didn't actually see it either yet, but I heard it was right. Right.
Well,
Uh,
do you know who
apparently,
won?
apparently it was good, and I think AJ retained.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I actually think, what was it? Meltzer, Dave Meltzer.
Hmm.
He gives out his star ratings. I think he rated that match higher than like any match at Lockdown,
Yeah.
which is funny when you put it in perspective. You have a match that's a 3 and some odd star match. That's fine, but when a 3.5 or whatever star match on main event is better than the rating of any match on a pay-per-view, like that's kind of funny.
Right. Yeah, apparently it was like a really good match, and I'm like, whoa, that's something for a change.
Yeah. Until, one of them take it from AJ so that they can have their Total Divers match at fucking WrestleMania.
Let me see. This all happened in two. Hold on.
Maybe this is all part
Okay,
of the
now I was looking
psychological
up a random
advantage that
clip.
AJ Lee's
I
trying
want
to
to watch this
employ.
match now because I'm reading everywhere they're saying this was like an amazing match. Like the Divas division has a lot of bright spots, and WWE is learning how to use them.
I mean,
Huh.
as long as that happens, like honestly, as much as the WWE doesn't need another title right now, I'm thinking after they get rid of the U.S. title,
Uh-huh.
maybe bring back the women's championship again.
Right.
Have 2 women's titles, because I mean, if you think about it, the Divas title, what does it represent? It represents divas.
Mhm.
The women's championship represented female wrestlers, at least back in its heyday.
Yeah.
So you could say that the Divas Championship is for the total diva bitches who are really just models and it's kind of a sideshow. But then the Women's Championship is for, the girls who want to come in and wrestle, like Natalia. And even though she's a total diva, she's still a good wrestler. Natalia, AJ, Tamina, fucking Caitlyn back when she was still around. Maybe she'll come back at some point. And I think as long as they decided to use them instead of making it just 2 titles that are booked like this one is now,
Uh-huh.
I think if they used it correctly, having 2 female championships might work out better. And I definitely do not want a tag team women's tag team championship. That's not needed. They can't even figure out what to do with their current men's tag team titles. Like, the last thing you need is a women's tag team division.
Yeah, that can only work if you're gonna have a lot of women competitors, almost the same number as the men, because if you only gonna have like 10 divas,
I mean, the only reason the Bellas want to have a tag team division for the women is because they know they're the only fucking people that would have it. The Bella Twins are like the only female tag team. I mean, I guess you could count AJ and Tamina, but
or Alicia Fox and Oksana.
it's not a fucking tag team. It's just 2 people they don't know what they're doing with, and they just want to have another set of tits in the match.
Right.
Although I still say make Oksana's knee dropper finishing move. It's like call it the Annihilator.
Annihilator.
Because it breaks your eye.
Oh wow.
Yeah, puns and shit.
It's so subtle too. Look, I want someone to try to do a sunset flip on her, she'll catch you and then knee you in the face.
That reminds me, fucking there's actually this meme going around where if Cody Rhodes were to hit the moonsault on Big E, would that still be a moonsault or would it be the big ending?
Oh yeah, I was joking about that the other day with you. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
well, because you know how like Randy Orton, all he has to do is adjust his body and it's an RKO because someone jumped off the top rope and
Yeah,
he just slightly bent back. So Big E, pretty much the same thing.
yeah.
All he has to do is touch Cody Rhodes and he does the big ending.
So in a similar manner, if Jeff Hardy were to do the Swanton Bomb on Dolph Ziggler, would it still be a Swanton Bomb or would it be a zigzag? I mean,
uh,
that one's not as obvious, but it's still technically, you know, him hitting his chest with his back of his head and shit. Like, because a lot of time Jeff likes to overshoot those a little bit because it's, I guess it's easier for him.
so Jeff botches equals a zigzag, but if
Well, it's not a botch. It's not a botch. It's just like a slight overshoot, so that instead of like the small of his back landing on his opponent's stomach, it's his shoulders getting driven into his opponent's stomach.
uh-huh.
So it's kind of like a rollout, as opposed to like, I'm attacking you with the momentum from my ass, flipping in the air and shit.
That's tripped out.
And everyone knows Naomi is the one who has the ass-based offense, so Jeff Hardy can't start doing it.
That's funny, but yeah.
Although if Naomi started doing a Swanton Bomb variation where she actually tried to hit you with her ass, and she called it like the Badonkadonk Bomb, or like the Swanton Badonkadonk. Swanton Badonkadonk.
Swanton Badonkadonk, wow.
Badonka Bomb. The Swanton Badonka Bomb. There it is. There it is. That's a good idea. Fund it.
Badonkadonk. I want to see
Swanton Badonka Bomb.
JR would probably sell the hell out of that too.
Yes, JR could sell. JR could fucking make you think that this current women's division has good matches.
Natalia from the Hard Dynasty, she got the sharpshooter,
I mean, at least he would call it bowling shoe ugly, and that's a term we haven't heard in WWE television too long.
Bowling shoe ugly. But yeah, that is pretty funny what you said about the moonsault. I think it would be a big ending just because all he needs to do is put his arms on Cody and big ending.
Yeah.
Or if the announcer tries to sell it that way, Michael Cole, at a big ending, surprise assault by Cody Rhodes.
Right. Freaking yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What else happened on Raw? That was the main event where wasn't it like Orton Evolution versus like Big Show?
Daniel Bryan and the Big Show, yeah.
Yeah. All we needed was Triple H to come ringside again.
Didn't Daniel Bryan win that fucking match too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he pinned Orton. Yeah. Yep. So I mean, yeah, like it's kind of funny how they're actually making making Bryan seem so credible in this feud. I don't know, man. I think there's a good, solid chance he's going to leave WrestleMania with the champion. One way or another, I think it might happen.
Well, I mean, considering they put him through all this crap, might as well let him hold it.
And plus, I don't think we're going to have two belts for a while. I mean, for that much longer. I mean, after WrestleMania, I think that's when they're finally going to, combine the belts into one. Maybe have it look like the new WWE belt, except, the network logo instead of the scratch logo.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm assuming it's going to be. But
like a big ass promotional tool.
So, well, I mean, that's what the titles are. Like John Cena said it himself in an interview, like a shoot interview. Like it was on the Howard Stern show, and they asked him. They were like, "So if it's fake, then why do you carry that around like it's a real championship?" And he's like, "Well, because it's got a big logo on the front that says WWE." You know, and I mean, it's true. That's the spinner belt. There was a big WWE logo, and that's probably why they started doing that instead of having the more subtle logos like on their old championships.
Yeah, where you really have to look at it. Oh, well, I see the ego, but
Right,
I gotta really look
right.
close for the
Yeah.
WW. Yeah.
Yep, but the spinner belt and the brand new WWE Championship, you could see the logo plain as day. They're the focal point of the piece.
Right.
So the
Big
network
star
logo,
prominent.
yeah, so the network logo is going to be on the belt no matter what. Like once they are phasing out the scratch logo, and as weird as that is to say, because that scratch logo has been around for so long by now,
Hmm.
um, it's going away. It's the network logo now. The second I saw the network logo, I was like, that's their new logo.
Yeah. You see it everywhere now. Like even the when they do the post show for and pre and post shows for Raw and
Yeah.
SmackDown, they have the network logo on the table.
Yep. Also, if you see NXT, the old NXT logo had the WWE scratch logo in black in the center of the X.
Hmm.
Um, After Arrival and during Arrival, it was the WWE Network logo in the center of the X.
Hmm.
So they're changing it. They're definitely changing it. Um,
Yeah,
but
pretty much the scratch logo was like the remnants of the Attitude Era.
yeah, I mean it's been around for a long time, man. It's
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
yeah.
But back to my original point. I don't think those two belts are going to be two belts for much longer. And I think the absolute perfect WrestleMania moment, and do it while you can. This WrestleMania, have Bryan win the titles and have him do the yeses with one title in each hand as he's doing it. Like that would be the that would be the definition of WrestleMania moment. When fucking someone asks, "Hey, what is a WrestleMania moment exactly?" and you show him a clip of that as like the entire audience is doing it with him, all 75,000 people, as he's holding up both belts
And
and then
chanting
going,
yes.
"Yes, yeah, that is a WrestleMania moment." And if they skip out on that, if they miss that, holy shit! Like I can't even explain to you how that wouldn't even just be a disappointment. Like it's not even about Brian being the one winning anymore. It's just like
The cherry on top.
how can you not do that? Like how can you not?
Like, what's the cherry on top? Come on. Yeah, I mean, it's so simple, but it almost seems so important that it'd be crazy not to let them do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So like on one hand, I'm worried that they're not going to do it, but on the other hand, they're not that stupid. They can't be. They can't
Right.
be
I
that.
mean, it's not like he's a generic. He has generic win poses and animations and stuff. He actually, I said it like it's a fighting game or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
But he's not just gonna stand still looking all generic, holding up the belts like yes, yeah,
Yeah. He's got a thing he can do with both belts.
yeah.
You
It
know.
makes sense. All his adrenaline from winning will make him hold the both heavy titles and still do the
Yeah.
yes.
Yep. And that would be an awesome moment. And if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna be sad. Just straight up. Okay. Well, it's almost time to end this here. I think it's time for our diva of the week now, though.
Ooh.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and if I am correct, then I think it's a big disappointment. It's kind of a shame on us. We have never had Trish Stratus as our diva of the week, have we?
Well, not yet, but then again, everyone hasn't been inducted into the Hall of Fame that should be inducted.
Yeah, but I mean, we're supposed to be the fans that actually appreciate that kind of stuff. So, like, Lito was our first one, but that's because, I'm a Sonic fan instead of a Mario fan. And yeah, there's an actual comparison there if you look for it, and I'm glad you caught on to it.
Yeah.
But but yeah, like Trish Stratus. I mean, come on now, man. She is one of the best, that we've had forever.
Yeah.
So
I guess to be fair, we kind of jumped all over the place with our choices.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, definitely. But Trish Stratus definitely deserves to be Diva of the Week.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yep, she's my nomination. Trish Stratus, Diva of the Week. Her and her gigantic fake breasts.
That song was hype.
Yeah. I think Lita's song was hyper though. Like that. Yeah, fucking. It had swearing in it, but they fucking bleeped it out and shit. It was good stuff. Right. Yeah. It was a good song, man. It made me hype because it was rock music for like a fucking woman. Like, come on, that's awesome.
She wasn't a diva, man.
Yeah, she was totally not a diva. It's like every other female was like, oh, let's have generic pop or this
like that Mickey James song. Or...
This female R&B song about how I look sexy and
What about the generic the generic diva song they use when they come to the ring sometime? I think it was I forget who they used it for, but it go like doom 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 doom.
Yeah, I have no idea, man.
Yeah, but it's like a really generic insert song they use for the divas.
Yeah.
If you heard it, you know what I was talking about. But you probably don't pay attention anyway. So.
Yeah, I don't. Like, when a diva's on the screen, I'm already in the bathroom, man. Like, literally, this is how it goes. Like, everyone's like, oh man, diva's a piss break. Like, no, I'm already. It's like a preemptive for me. Like, I'm like, oh, commercial, time to go to the bathroom.
Preemptive.
And then I come out. I'm like, what did I miss? Oh, divas are on. I guess I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I was only in there for 2 minutes. The hell.
All right. Yeah, they already fucking settled everything. They managed to get through entrances and the match before I could fucking put my dick back and fucking wash my hands and shit.
How do you tap out when someone first places a hold on?
Right. It's like, well, I mean, they got to preserve their figure. They don't want it to get twisted out of proportion and shit. How are they going to, grind on the ropes if their leg's broken? They can't. It's just not possible.
Right. It was funny.
Shit, I can barely move when my foot's hurting. Like, if they get put in a submission hold for longer than a split second, then they couldn't possibly strut their stuff as good as they normally could.
So what does this mean for AJ? Because I looked at a clip of the main event match while we were talking, and it looks like she was in a sharpshooter for like 30 seconds probably. And she
doesn't need that. She's not that kind of girl.
Right, because she can skip around.
Yeah, I mean, she's got the look, but she's also got the power. She's got the touch. All right, anyway.
Yeah.
It's a good time to leave off. We got our Diva of the Week, Trish Stratus. That's a hot blonde with the fake breasts, who's totally not Pamela Anderson.
True, but she has black hair.
Yeah. Dude, with the black hair, she actually looks cute.
Right.
Like, I like cute better than I like anything else, and she actually looks cute as hell with that black hair, so I gotta give it to her for that one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now's a good time to sign off here. So, you have been listening to MAWS Talks Wrestling. I have been your co-host, Lunakage.
And I'm Glenburg.
He was indeed Glenburg. And we will see you next week.
All right. See you next week.